starts right now.
Making news this morning, a fire reignites at a Northwest Side apartment complex overnight. Details coming up.
Plus, new details are released regarding the sudden death of actor and comedian Bob Saget.
Outside with live cam this morning. It's a beautiful morning out there. Starting out in the lower 40s. For a change, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, January 11th.
Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. I know most kids are already been back in school and they've been there for a while. My daughter starts today.
Oh, today.
Yes,
okay.
yes,
that was a nice
finally.
long break.
Yeah, for her. I mean, all her friends are already back and they're like, how's school, Renee? She's like, it's great. And I'm like, well, you haven't been back yet. So today it starts.
She's good on the fly.
Yes.
She can handle those off-the-cuff questions.
Yes.
All right, Mike's here with more on how things are shaping up for our Tuesday. I know it's still early out there, but it's been on the cool side.
Yeah, cool this morning. I mean, cool in the mornings all week long, but it's going to stay very chilly again today. Actually, probably down a little bit from yesterday just because we're going to have a lot more clouds out there. So then it's going to start to warm up by the end of the week. Another front down the road. More on that in a second. I didn't see complete cloud cover this morning, but the clouds will be thickening up as the day rolls on. 44 right now, 41 Bernie Stage, and then 35 in Helotes. And notice these numbers, dew point temperatures. They are, well, here in town, half of what the actual air temperature is. So there's really dry layer of air. Not only does it make it comfortable, and allow temperatures to continue to drop down. I think we dropped down a few more degrees, but also there are a couple of sprinkles that are being picked up on radar, but this is aloft because as this falls through this dry air, most everything is evaporating, and that's going to be the case. I got a mention of a little sprinkle. I mean, if something does survive all the way down through that dry layer of air, possible, but not very likely. Mountain Cedar yesterday did really go up 48-20, mold on the moderate side. And again, temperatures will drop down a couple of more notches here and there, mostly cloudy skies. And then later on this afternoon, 55 for a high temperature. So lots of clouds. Again, a mention of a sprinkle, but most of that is going to be evaporating. We have, like I said, a nice warm end to the week and then a cooler weekend. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. Fire that broke out at an apartment last night on Dean Penill near Wurzbach Road has reignited this morning. It's over near the medical center. Fire officials say at least one person was taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation last night. Firefighters arrived again early this morning to find flames shooting through the roof. At least 12 units have been impacted. We have a crew at the scene. We'll bring you more information shortly. This morning, more than 141,000 Americans in the hospital due to COVID. The latest numbers show that deaths are up by 34% in the last week, and COVID cases among children are also up 78% in the last week. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is moving forward on a rule to make all at-home rapid tests reimbursable for insured Americans. There's also word the CDC may soon update mask guidance and advise people to wear better quality masks.
An 18-year-old New Mexico woman is facing charges after police say she abandoned her newborn baby in a dumpster. Authorities say 4 people who were looking through a dumpster heard the baby cry and found it inside a trash bag wrapped in a dirty towel in Hobbs near the Texas border. The baby is now in stable condition at a hospital in Lubbock. Police say investigators used surveillance video to identify a car suspected of being involved. That led them to Alexis Avila of Hobbs. She told authorities she didn't know she was pregnant and panicked when she gave birth.
This morning, the medical examiner has released new details on the sudden death of comedian Bob Saget.
And a police report is shedding new light on the moment Saget was found unresponsive in his Orlando hotel room. CNN's John Lawrence has the latest.
Fans of the show Full House gathered outside the iconic home in San Francisco that launched Bob Saget into the role of America's dad in 1987.
Raised a generation throughout the country. I think he left a big impact on people as children.
Fans leaving behind gifts in memorial to the late actor who was found dead in an Orlando Ritz-Carlton hotel room Sunday. A police report is revealing that 65-year-old Saget was found cold to the touch, yellow and clammy by hotel security after his family alerted the hotel staff that they were unable to reach him. The report also notes no signs of trauma were seen. The Orange County medical examiner released new details after performing an autopsy on Saget Monday in a statement saying, At this time, there is no evidence of drug use or foul play. The cause and manner of death are pending further studies and investigation, which may take up to 10 to 12 weeks to complete. Saget's sudden death sent shockwaves through his fan base, and those close to him who say he still had a lot to look forward to.
He really loved what he was doing. He was looking forward to working more places and having a direct relation with the audience. And yeah, he seemed very excited about it.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Now to last night's college football playoff championship between Georgia and Alabama. Thanks to Stetson Bennett delivering one of the biggest throws of his career in Georgia's defense, the Bulldogs won their first national title for the first time in 41 years. Bennett connected on a 40-yard touchdown to give Georgia a 19-18 lead with 8:09 left. Final blow came from the defense. Georgia intercepted an underthrown deep ball down the sideline. Instead of going down, he took off behind a convoy of blockers, went 79 yards for a touchdown that set off a wild celebration by Georgia fans. If simply snapping the drought wasn't good enough, doing it against #1 Alabama had to make it feel even better. Nick Saban's Crimson Tide had won 7 straight against the Bulldogs, including the last 4 against Georgia coach Kirby Smart, Saban's longtime assistant.
Oh, wow. Time now at 4:36 and about 41 degrees out there.
Still ahead, we'll tell you about an easy way you can help prevent companies from tracking your movement online.
Also up next, the Spurs not able to get a much-needed win against New York last night. Highlights coming up.
Let's check traffic right now. Still very early out there. 4:36. We have a few cars on I-10 at Frio near downtown. There's way out there on the northwest side at I-10 at De Zavala.
And taking a look outside with live cam, starting in the 40s again, but Mike said it might be a little colder than yesterday just because of those clouds. We'll be right back.
Good morning and welcome back. Spurs still down several players last night. We're hoping to snap a 3-game losing streak against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Josh Primo makes the most of his 3rd straight start. Game tied at 17. Primo hits the triple and Spurs go up by 3. Then final minute of the quarter, Lonnie Walker comes with a steal on the inbounds pass, and Bryn Forbes drills a 3-ball. San Antonio leads 26-23 after 1, but that's about as good as it would get for the Spurs. New York's R.J. Barrett scored 31, leading the Knicks to a 111-96 victory over San Antonio. Neither team led by more than 8 in the first half, but an outstanding performance by Barrett in the second half is what put the Knicks over the top. DeJounte Murray scored 24 for the Spurs. Jakob Poeltl had 12 points, 10 rebounds. San Antonio finishes their long road trip with a 1-6 record.
Stick with each other, be confident, and move on. And some of these losses that we had, like on this road trip, will turn into wins as we get guys back and they, stick with each other.
Thanks, Coach. Besides the 6 players in health and safety protocols, the Spurs were also missing center Jock Landale because of back spasms. Next up, Spurs come home to face the Houston Rockets. Tip-off is set for 7:30 over at the AT&T Center. Congratulations to T.P. Miller, has been named the new head coach of the Johnson Jaguars here in San Antonio. The former Jags defensive coordinator was promoted head coach and athletic coordinator to after Mark Soto left the Jags after 2 seasons to take over as head coach of his alma mater, Judson High School. Coach Miller calls it a prestigious honor. In a letter addressed to Jaguar Nation, he said he was thankful for the opportunity to continue working with first-class student athletes, parents, teachers, and administrators.
Congratulations. Time now, 4:41 and about 41 degrees out there. Still ahead, we're going to tell you about an effective way to prevent companies from tracking you online.
And a first look at how surgeons at the University of Maryland successfully implanted a pig heart into a human patient with end-stage heart disease.
And welcome back. It's 4:44. A man with terminal heart disease has received a heart from a pig in what is being described as a medical breakthrough. ABC's Ariel Reshef has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, medical breakthrough.
We've never done this in a human.
Surgeons at the University of Maryland cautiously celebrating an apparent medical breakthrough, successfully implanting a pig heart into a patient with end-stage heart disease.
He's awake. He is recovering and speaking to his caregivers, and we hope that the recovery that he is having now will continue.
The first of its kind procedure, 57-year-old David Bennett's last chance for survival after he was deemed ineligible for a traditional transplant. For Bennett's family, new hope.
It provided a level of hope that he could go home, hope that he could have the quality of life that he so much desired.
And coming up at 7 a.m., Dr. Jen Ashton weighs in live on what this breakthrough could mean for other future organ transplants. With your GMA First Look, I'm Ariel Reshef, ABC News, New York.
4:45. Many people have tried using a fake name when signing up for a new service online as a way to protect their privacy. Well, it turns out it doesn't do a lot to keep companies from tracking you.
But as Marilyn Moritz explains, an alternative or fake email address is an easy and more effective way of doing just that.
Almost everything you do on the internet.
The last thing that I Googled was a USPS tracking number.
Many big tech companies are tracking and sharing the details. What you search, the sites you visit, the people you connect with. How do they know who you are?
One of the main ways that they do it is tying your identity together using your email address.
One way to limit that is to try an alternative or fake email service.
There are a number of these tools and they all work a little bit differently, but basically they give you an alternative email that isn't tied to your real identity that you can plug in when you're signing up on a new website.
Maybe you've seen Sign In with Apple on some sites. It generates a random, unique email address. Then any emails from that site can be forwarded to your regular inbox without them ever knowing your real address. You get the emails you need without being tracked. The Firefox browser offers Firefox Relay. You can create up to 5 fake email addresses for free or get unlimited for 99 cents a month.
And then there are a number of temporary email services that give you an email inbox that you can use, but it self-destructs after about 10 minutes.
For most, you don't even create an account. 10-minute mail, temp mail, minute inbox, and email on deck are popular. When would this come in handy? Maybe when you're asked for an email address to get an instant online discount. And bonus, you'll get less spam in your real inbox. Using another Gmail or another email is not that effective either because companies can still identify you if you're using the same devices. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
And a quick look outside with TransGuide this morning. There's a look there at I-35 New Braunfels and I-35 at Loop 410. A few drivers out there early this morning.
Well, Mike joins us now with a look at our Tuesday forecast. One day closer to the weekend. That's a pretty picture.
You're already counting toward the weekend.
I am. Yeah. It's I'm trying to remain optimistic.
I like your thinking. So
yeah, so far you like it.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, beautiful picture, and I love the sky and the kind of the silhouette of the tree in the foreground right there. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect shot. And we've got some clouds hanging around here this morning. They're going to be thickening up if you have a little bit of some clear skies as of right now. And yes, there is some rain being picked up on radar. It's not really making it to the ground. And again, that's because we've got between where this rain is being detected up a few thousand feet up in the atmosphere and down here at the surface, it's really, really dry layer. So as that rain goes through that dry layer, most all of it's going to be evaporating. So I really doubt if we see anything reaching the surface. If you do, yeah, it's not going to amount to too much, just kind of that nuisance sort of rain. But again, it's going to be few and far between any of those sprinkles actually reaching the ground. The air, which had dried out considerably yesterday morning compared to pre-front on Sunday, has even drier now. And again, so that's helping all that rain evaporate before it reaches the ground. And as far as dew points and humidity, it's not really going to be going up all that much. Yes, we will be warming up the next couple of days. Today's still going to be on the cool side just because of the cloud cover out there, but we'll get back up into the 60s tomorrow, 70s on Thursday and Friday. But it's not as though we're going to see this huge surge in the humidity. Yes, dew points will be going up a little bit, but still, it's going to be fairly comfortable out there, which means we'll have some cool mornings and then warmer afternoons. Here's a computer model, and just looking at this model, you'd think, okay, we've got some, pretty good showers out there. But again, the determining factor is that dry air down here at the surface. So even though there is rain being picked up on these computer models, most of it, like I said, won't reach the surface. And that's going to be the situation. What you can take away from this, though, is the cloudy skies that we're going to have out there. And that's going to be the case overnight into tomorrow. Then things clear out, and we're going to see a bunch of sunshine to finish up the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Then we have another front, which is going to be coming on in here by Saturday, late Friday into Saturday. Here's the clouds that are showing up on the satellite picture, and like I said, those clouds will just continue to kind of hang around here. And around the country, there's not really a heck of a lot going on. All of these kind of Alberta clippers are coming through the Great Lakes and the northern plain states, and that's riding on that jet stream up there. But that's keeping all the really, really cold air further up there to the north, any real storm systems up there to the north of us. So we've got a very tranquil weather pattern that's going to be sitting in place for pretty much a week or so. And what that means also is no rain. 50 at noon. Again, a sprinkler too may reach the ground, but it's kind of doubtful with that. And then a high temperature today of only 55 degrees. So we will be cooler than yesterday, and one or two of those sprinkles out there. Tomorrow and really every day this week, it's going to be cool in the morning, but we'll continue to warm up. We get about a 30-degree rise in temperatures by Thursday and Friday. Good indication, still some dry air in place. Then that front's going to move through here, and that's going to knock temperatures not brutally cold, but just back down to sort of normal readings by the weekend.
Yes, but cold mornings.
Yeah, not too cold, just chilly enough.
Chilly.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
4:51, about 41 degrees.
And still ahead, ABC's highest rated drama gets renewed for a 19th season.
Here are your lottery numbers this morning. Pick 3, 824, Fireball 0. Daily 4 numbers, 7399, Fireball 3.
Cash 5, 3, 25, 28, 31, 34. And your Texas 2 step, 16, 21, 22, 33, bonus ball 9. Your Powerball numbers, 14, 17, 18, 21, 27, Powerball 9, Power Play 2. Good luck.
Grey's Anatomy is renewed for another season, plus Disney is topping the Billboard charts.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
It'll be a little while before we know the official cause of death for actor and comedian Bob Saget, who was found dead Sunday in his hotel room at the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando, Florida. The medical examiner's office in Orange County says an autopsy is done. They found no signs of drug use or foul play, and it could take 10 to 12 weeks to finalize the report. Saget, 65, was in Florida doing stand-up comedy shows on stage for 2 hours the night before he died. The Doctor is in for a 19th season. Grey's Anatomy, renewed by ABC, and star Ellen Pompeo will keep seeing patients. The show's still ABC's highest-rated drama. That's not the only series with a renewal. Apple TV Plus's The Morning Show getting a season 3, and more Parisian love and drama. Netflix renewing Emily in Paris for a season 3 and 4. Bruno says it looks like rain. The Magical Madrigals of Encanto singing their way to the top of the charts. The soundtrack to the hit Disney film topping the Billboard 200 album chart, knocking Adele's 30 out of the top spot. It's the first soundtrack to hit number 1 since Frozen 2 in 2019, and only the 6th chart-topping soundtrack in Billboard history. And don't worry about Adele. Her song Easy on Me is number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart for an 8th week. And happy birthday to the queen of hip-hop soul. 9-time Grammy winner Mary J. Blige is 51 today, while actress and producer Amanda Peet is 50. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And time now, 4:56 and about 41 degrees out there.
Up next on GMSA, what the Biden administration is doing to make at-home rapid COVID tests easier to get for many Americans.
Plus, Samsung may be getting ready to announce its much-anticipated Galaxy smartphone. Details ahead in Tech Bites.
And if you're headed out the door, here's what you could expect at 281 and 410. No problems there, even on those flyover ramps. There's 1604 at Babcock, and we've got quite a bit of traffic in that last shot. It's moving pretty quick, though. I can't tell which one that was, but we saw a higher concentration of cars. I don't know if that was a slowdown or what, but we'll check in with Stephen, who just walked into the studio. We'll be back.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making news this hour, the latest on a fire that tore through the roof of an apartment building here in San Antonio late last night and rekindled this morning.
COVID cases among children spiking across the country. More than 580,000 testing positive. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington. The latest on the coronavirus pandemic coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, starting your day a little chilly again at 41 degrees. But what can we expect for the rest of your work week?
Some air traffic out there this morning over the downtown area. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, the 11th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. I think another great day for some warm coffee.
Yeah, down to 41 now, dropped a degree or so in the last half hour. Here's Mike with an update.
And then it's not going to be warming up all that much later on this afternoon because, yesterday we did have some nice sunshine out there, but we are going to be keeping a lot of clouds around. So officially we are down to 39 degrees right now. And then look at that bottom number. Dew point's down to 25. So there's a good 14-degree difference right there, which means there's some really, really dry air in place down here at the surface. And that will come into play as far as anything precipitation-wise. 55 for a high temperature. That's it later on today. And again, plenty of clouds. The aquifer, yesterday's reading, did not change. And then the allergens, Mountain Cedar went up from the previous day thanks to those windy conditions that we had, 48-20, and mold is on the low side. All right, so we do have a little bit of rain that's being detected on radar right now. But as I was talking about how there's some really dry air down here at the surface, we call it the dew point depression, basically the difference between the temperature and the dew point temperature. So as this rain falls, it's going through that dried layer and most of it is just evaporating. So that's why, yeah, a couple of sprinkles are possible today, but this looks a lot more promising than what it actually is. We're not really going to be seeing anything as far as any decent rain in this forecast other than a couple of sprinkles around here. And yes, it is going to be staying on the cool side. More sunshine tomorrow. We'll make it back up into the low 60s. So normal readings tomorrow. And then end of the week, Thursday, Friday, very warm. Still cool in the morning, jacket weather. But then we're going to be gaining good 35 degrees or so throughout the course of the day, getting up into the low 70s. But that's not going to last past Friday because we have another front moving on through here. So it will be a cooler weekend and partly cloudy. Overall, not a bad looking weekend, but again, no rain in this forecast. Details, closer look at the weekend coming up. Traffic Authority, Steve Cavazos. Good morning, sir. Anything going on?
Tranquil traffic Tuesday, Mike, and that's some good news for anyone that has to perhaps maybe get out and head out on the roads in the next few moments. Let's take a quick look around town and see how things are shaping up here. Here we have 35 at New Braunfels. So you can see that traffic is moving. Just a few folks out there this morning. If we can take a closer look and see that we do have, again, just a few folks out there, 35 at Main. So not a whole lot of activity up there right now, but we're going to continue to watch these roads closely. Wondering if we can move that camera just a little bit in so we can get a closer look at the roadways here, but it doesn't look like it. So let's go ahead and take a look at our stalls. There we go. We have a stall here off US 281 northbound at Jones-Maltzberger. So be on the lookout for that. That's not causing any issues just yet, but of course it is still very early. So to see a stall out there, just again, watch out for that. First responders will hopefully be able to assist that driver pretty soon, but wider look at the map does show we have been off to, again, tranquil start for this Tuesday morning, not spotting any delays or issues just yet. There was a crash off 410 at State Highway 151. That looks like it cleared out really quickly, and you can see that area is pretty much green on the screen. And if you're traveling through San Antonio, perhaps from any of these neighboring communities this morning, right now you're in good shape. 25 minutes coming in from Bernie to downtown in those eastbound lanes. 281 southbound, we're looking at 26 minutes coming in from Bulverde. And if you're traveling in from New Braunfels on 35 southbound, we have 25 minutes at this hour. So not too bad, but we're going to continue to watch these roads closely and give you all those updates as this Tuesday morning gets going. Mark?
Thank you, Steve and Natalie. Breaking news. It's been a long night for San Antonio firefighters who've been called out not once but twice to a Northwest Side apartment complex.
A fire that displaced more than a dozen families last night has rekindled. Katrina Weber has a live report from outside of that complex near Wurzbach Road and Gardendale. Katrina, was anyone hurt?
Well, good morning, Stephanie. No, firefighters tell us there were no injuries. As a matter of fact, when this fire rekindled, everyone in that building was already out of it. Now, it has caused quite a bit of damage, and from what we understand, there are as many as 20 apartments that are affected here at the Wurzbach Manor Apartments. This fire originally started about 7:30 this morning, or I'm sorry, 7:30 last night, but rekindled around 2:30 this morning. You can see that firefighters have their ladder truck extended extended. And they say the problem is in the roof of that building, the way it's constructed, it allows that fire to keep on flaring up again. And so they've been trying to pour water on it from above, also working from the ground to try to extinguish those flames that are hidden in the nooks and crannies of that roof. But again, they are trying to put this fire out and make sure it's out and stays out. There are as many as 20 families affected. Again, firefighters tell us that they were being assisted by the apartment complex management as well as the American Red Cross. And again, no one thankfully hurt in this fire, but quite a bit of damage, and there will be some cleanup when firefighters have completed their work. No word on the cause of this fire yet. Reporting live on the Northwest Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. New this morning, San Antonio firefighters say a woman is dead following a fire at a home on the Northwest Side. Happened just before 10 last night, the 1400 block of West Ridgewood Court. That's just west of I-10, inside Loop 410. Fire crews arrived to find flames in the home. When firefighters entered, they found an elderly woman in a hallway who was not able to make it out alive. So far, the cause of that fire is not known.
San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers need your help finding the person responsible for shooting and killing a 15-year-old boy. Back on December 14th, around 11 p.m., police say Jeremiah Gunther was with some friends at a convenience store in the 700 block of Cincinnati on the Northwest Side when someone in a car pulled up and started arguing with Gunther. Police say during that argument, the suspect pulled out a gun, and as Gunther and his friends tried to get away in their vehicles, the suspect shot at them, hitting Gunther in the head. He was taken to the hospital where he died the next day. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at number 210-224-STOP. You could get a cash reward for information that you provide.
Starting this weekend, Americans who want at-home COVID tests can be reimbursed by their insurance companies.
ABC's Faith Abube has the latest on the Biden administration's latest move.
This morning, hospitals across the country buckling under the crushing weight of the Omicron surge. Medical staff currently caring for a record 141,000 Americans in hospital beds with COVID, a new pandemic record.
We're in the thick of this latest fight against the Omicron tsunami washing across the state.
In New Jersey, the number of ICU patients desperate for life-saving ventilators has doubled since December 25th, rivaling the May 2020 crisis. Right now, about 1 out of every 4 U.S. hospitals reporting data says they are currently experiencing a critical staffing shortage. It's so bad that California is allowing COVID-positive healthcare workers with no symptoms to get back on the job without isolating or testing negative.
We're in this industry to care for others. You know, that's the root word right there. And yet we are asking to put others at potential harm.
Concern for children also growing as a record-breaking 580,000 kids tested last week after the winter break came back positive for COVID-19, a 78% increase just in the past week. In Chicago, the tense standoff between educators and the city over COVID protocols in schools now over. Overnight, the union voting for teachers to return to classrooms today. Meanwhile, an eye-opening pre-Omicron study on masks showing it can take about half an hour for 2 people wearing cloth masks to pass the virus to each other, compared to about 25 hours when both are wearing N95 masks.
The higher grade masks are really going to protect people because they not only have a more proper fit, they have a better seal.
And the CDC, according to the Washington Post, is now weighing an update to its mask guidance, pushing for those higher quality N95 and KN95 masks over cloth masks amid this Omicron surge. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
And here's a look at how COVID cases are looking in Bexar County. In our local hospitals, we had about 200 patients on Christmas Day. That number is now at 815. 186 are in the intensive care unit and 65 are on ventilators, helping them breathe. Our risk level continues to be in the severe category. Another 4,000 cases were confirmed yesterday, along with 3 more deaths. And if you're looking for a free COVID-19 test, here's an easy way to find one. So use your camera phone and scan the code on your screen. That will guide you to several sites. More sites are expected to open this week, including one later today at the Yates Community Center. We're going to have that list online at our website on KSAT.com.
509, about 40 degrees.
And still ahead, a first look at Samsung's highly anticipated new Galaxy smartphone.
And what's next for the first person to be convicted of murder in 2022 here in Bexar County?
And good morning again. Taking a look outside with live cam, we're starting at 40 degrees. Go ahead and grab that jacket. You're going to need it for a little longer today than you did yesterday. We'll be right back.
Just about 5:13, he was the first to be convicted of murder in 2022 here in Bexar County. And now Edison Karaman has learned he will face 33 years in prison for killing his own cousin.
A jury sealed his fate after learning Karaman killed Christopher Karaman in March of 2020. Prosecutors spoke about a family feud that turned deadly. Some family members offered forgiveness during yesterday's hearing. Christopher Karaman's mother made it a point to say Edison did not show any remorse or apologies for what he did. Edison Karaman must serve half of his sentence before he is eligible for parole.
The CPS Energy Board of Trustees has unanimously voted to approve a 3.85% rate increase for customers. On Thursday, CPS will go to City Council with that rate request. City Council will then vote on the increase the same day. If it goes through, the utility could still ask for another increase further down the road.
Time now, 5:13 and 40 degrees out there this morning.
Still ahead, a biotech company gets FDA clearance for a prostate cancer risk test.
And can you guess how many times people have downloaded Google's Gmail application? We're going to tell you next.
What would you like?
I think
Everything is included.
Gonna be falling in. Still feels like
Did you and your husband enjoy your stay?
Yes.
Visit secretsresorts.com/Love Unlimited for a special Love Unlimited package and savings up to 40%.
How did Panera come up with the idea to combine their famous mac and cheese with their iconic grilled cheese? By saying yes. Yes to new inventions. Yes to clean and fresh ingredients. And yes to living life to the flavor fullest. Panera. Live your yes. Now $1 delivery.
With age comes more. Get more with Neutrogena Retinol Pro Plus, a powerful 0.5% retinol that's also gentle on skin for wrinkle results in 1 week. Neutrogena for people with skin.
In today's Tech Bites, Samsung's next big reveal. The company is holding an event on February 8th when it's expected to unveil its new Galaxy phones. 3 models of the S22 are expected. All are said to have very bright displays. The devices are expected to ship in late February. Genetic testing company 23andMe has received FDA clearance for a prostate cancer risk test. The test screens for a specific mutation that's believed to make men 3 times more likely to develop prostate cancer. 23andMe already has 2 other risk tests designed to predict the risk of breast cancer and colorectal cancer. And a massive milestone for Gmail. The Android app has passed 10 billion downloads on the Google Play Store. It's the 4th app to reach 10 billion, joining Play Service, YouTube, and Maps. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
It's now 5:18.
Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. So you have experience with that app.
Yes, in fact, I'm terrible at checking my Gmail. I'm going to say this with no shame. I have like 6,000 unread messages.
Oh my goodness.
But they're not important. Otherwise, they would already be read. Huh? I don't know. I'm not spending my time looking through all my emails. I got to relax at some point, Mike.
Do you think that most of them are spam? Is that
I think so. But you know what? It just gives you the little brief on what it is. So yeah, not all of them you need to reply to are open. So.
Okay, well, I'll just text you. I won't send you an email. Oh my goodness.
Don't send me an email. Shoot me a text. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a quick look at our roadways because right now things have been quiet. That's what we've been seeing throughout the morning. 410 at Starcrest. Not a lot of people out there. Of course, it is a little bit after 5, so we don't expect to see many drivers out there this morning. But if you happen to get up early and get out on the roads, this is what you'll likely expect right now. There's some quiet roads there. US 90 at 36. Again, few folks out there this morning, but watch out because we still have this stall detected here off 281 northbound at Jones-Maltzberger. And wider look at the map shows that's the only problem that we're spotting right now. But that's always subject to change. Yesterday, we had a few crashes that started early in the morning that lasted well into into 7 a.m. So, of course, make sure that you're driving carefully. And if you happen to head to the gas station, we have these gas prices from AAA. Right now, they are reporting the average gas price in Bexar County is $2.76. Around the country, we're looking at, around the state, that is $2.90. And around the state, our country, that is, we're looking at $3.30. Now, that's largely due to the increase in crude oil prices, which is almost reaching $80 a barrel. So we're going to continue to watch those gas prices closely, as well as these roadways. But right now, things are moving nice and smoothly.
So you may not have seen the email from that long-lost relative in Africa that died through the big inheritance.
Oh, geez. Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to spend the rest of the show just now combing through those emails.
You never know what you'll find.
You could have pretty pictures in there like this one.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
You never... Mark sent you an email the other day. You never.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, anyway, beautiful day and plenty of clouds, and that's the way it's going to look today. And I don't know if we see a whole heck of a lot of sunshine, a little bit thrown on in there, perhaps, but basically just cloudy skies, which is once again going to help to keep temperatures down. And you really can't see it too well in this picture, but a lot of clouds are being reported right now. Once again, there is rain being picked up on radar, but with the dew point depression, the difference between the air temperature and the dew point temperature is very big. So therefore, we got some really dry air in place. So that's evaporating, and most of all of it's evaporating before it ever reaches the ground, which is, even though computer models are indicating a little bit of rain, and yeah, maybe one or two of those sprinkles could reach the ground, but very doubtful. Otherwise, just cloudy skies throughout the day, overnight tonight. And then we're going to be clearing out quite nicely and see a lot of sunshine to finish up the week, and then also going on in toward the weekend. Now, as far as the humidity, it is going to be staying very low. Think back a few weeks ago when we would get our little cold snaps and then warm back up, and the humidity would come right back in with it. So it would be really just kind of sultry out there. That's not going to be the case. So what this will mean is we'll have cool mornings down in the 40s, closer to normal readings. And even though we're going to be up into the 70s by Thursday and Friday, it's still going to be on the comfortable side. Now, up to the north, it is still brutally cold up there around the Great Lakes. 13 below is the actual air temperature in Caribou, Maine. The wind chill temperature is 32 degrees below zero, and they're looking at some negative numbers all around the Northeast as far as wind chill temperatures. And for us, yeah, we're on the kind of just the very leading edge, very southern edge of this colder air mass, with temperature right now at 39 degrees. And it's not going to be really any colder, so we're not going to have anything still too extreme. Now, high temperatures, yes, by the end of the week, we'll be up into the low 70s. On the above normal side by close to 10 degrees. But again, the humidity is going to be held in place. 50 today at noon, cloudy. A sprinkle or two, maybe. Same thing this afternoon, 55 degrees. But again, most anything that falls from the sky is going to be evaporating before it ever makes it all the way down here. Start off at 40 tomorrow, low 40s all the way through the rest of the week. And then temperatures 64 tomorrow, at about 10 almost each day. So, yeah, we will be above normal by Thursday and Friday. Another front's going to come through here, though, and that's going to knock temperatures back down into the low 60s by the weekend.
We've already lost a few degrees since we went on this morning. Do you think we'll dip below 40 briefly this morning, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, we're at 39 right now, so we'll probably stay right about there, just because the clouds have now started to come in. That usually kind of puts a lid on any further cooling around here. So.
I mean, it's not going to drop 5 or 10 degrees. I mean, we're going to hold fairly...
Pretty steady from right here. Jacket weather, though.
Just chilly.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
523, about 40 degrees.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, details on some Michael Caine memorabilia that's up for auction, and there's some family films headed to streaming.
Some popular family films are already headed to streaming services.
Here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
It's an extraordinary evening.
Michael Caine is putting some of his film memorabilia and other items up for auction. Paintings from his personal collection, his gold Rolex watch, and even a pair of his signature eyeglasses are set to go under the hammer March 2nd in London. The UK's Times newspaper says the 88-year-old actor and his wife are downsizing, thus the sale.
We are pleased to welcome Milo Ventimiglia to the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
This Is Us star Milo Ventimiglia is the latest honoree on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The actor was inducted Monday in a ceremony on Hollywood Boulevard. Ventimiglia's star is next to that of his This Is Us wife, Mandy Moore.
I'll give you 3 weeks to get this show up and running.
It appears families with young children are staying away from theaters amid the Omicron variant surge. At least that's what studios seem to think. Sing 2 landed on premium VOD just 17 days after it opened in theaters. And Pixar's Turning Red won't get a U.S. theatrical release at all, debuting instead March 11th on Disney+. Staying home in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
527, about 40 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, look how President Biden is pushing his voting rights legislation in the Deep South.
Plus, why you soon might have to pay a little more for mortgages, car loans, and credit cards.
Plus, the snack that smiles back is getting a new version aimed at adults.
Making headlines this morning, President Joe Biden renewing his push for new voting rights measures.
Firefighters thought their work was done, but a fire at this Northwest Side apartment complex has rekindled. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll have the latest on that story.
And taking a look outside with live cam, it is chilly this morning, but I'm looking forward to later this week with chilly mornings and beautiful afternoons.
Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, January 11th.
Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and check in with Mike about the beautiful afternoons.
Yeah, that's going to be starting tomorrow, and then to finish up the week, the latter half of the week. Today, it's just pretty much going to be staying cloudy out there. We have lots of clouds as of right now, and yeah, definitely jacket weather. Jacket weather in the mornings all the rest of the week. Temperature is at 39, and then the dew point, measure moisture in the atmosphere, is at 25. So we've got a 14-degree difference between these two numbers, which means there's a very dry layer of air down here at the surface. Not much of a breeze to talk about. And that dry layer means that this rain, which is being detected on radar, is most of it evaporating before it ever reaches the ground because it goes through that very dry layer of air. We call it virga. And so that's why, even though looks more wet on radar, probably a couple of sprinkles, and that's going to be the extent of it. Some will reach the ground, but not much. 39 here in town, same thing Fredericksburg Junction, and then again, these dew points are about almost half of what the air temperature is. Mountain Cedar is on the high side. Mold is moderate right now. The updated count is going to be coming out just after 7 o'clock this morning, and we're going to keep a lot of clouds around today. I've just got that mention of a few sprinkles that are possible to reach the ground. Just don't be surprised if you get it. It's not going to amount to anything. 50 at noon, 55 for high temperature. Add almost 10 to that tomorrow, and then another 10 to finish up the work week. But we'll stop with the math by Friday, I should say, because we got another front coming on through here. So instead of addition, we'll be doing some subtraction with temperatures by the weekend. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. Anything big going on?
I don't know, Mike, you're making me nervous with all that math there. It was not my favorite subject, but but I can talk traffic right now because there's not a whole lot to talk about for this early in the morning. We are seeing just a few people out there. Still, the problems that we spotted have been relatively small. Crash had cleared out rather quickly, but taking a quick look around town, 281 at 410. Again, very quiet morning for this Traffic Tuesday, but be on the lookout because we still have this stall that's been out there for a little while now off 281 northbound at Jones-Maltzberger Road. It's not been causing any issues, but of course, you always want to make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of room, as well as that driver who may be experiencing some trouble out on the roadways. So watch out for that. But a wider look at our map does show that it is very quiet in the Alamo City and some of those surrounding areas. And if your travels take you to San Antonio, well, we have those inbound times for you right now. Coming in from Seguin to downtown, 29 minutes on I-10. If you're coming in from Livonia on 87, 21 minutes at this hour, and 28 minutes coming in from Floresville on 181. So nothing too bad right now. Again, morning has been off to a very quiet start. Tuesday morning started off tranquil. We'll have more coming up in the next few minutes. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. Back to late breaking news. A fire that appeared to be out last night here in San Antonio has firefighters up and working hard this morning. It rekindled overnight.
The fire has impacted more than a dozen families at an apartment complex near Wurzbach Road and Gardendale. Katrina Weber is there with a live report. And Katrina, is there any word on how this all started?
There's no word on the cause of the original fire, but firefighters are blaming the roof design for allowing this fire to rekindle. They say the fire is burning in between some of the nooks and crannies, and it's made it difficult for them to put out. They still have 3 ladder trucks extended, as you can see, and there's still a bit of smoke that's coming up even after all these hours. They are ready just in case it should flare up again. Let me give you a look at the way things were earlier this morning. Now, this fire originally started last night about 7:30. Firefighters got here. They evacuated the building, which involved as many as 20 families that were evacuated from this building due to the fire. They were able to put out the fire. They did not allow the people to go back inside. So when this fire rekindled around 2:30 this morning, there was no one inside. They have been here ever since, just making sure that this fire doesn't flare up again. And they have had a couple of flare-ups throughout the time that they've been here this morning. They are keeping watch on this very carefully to make sure that things don't get out of hand once again. For now, the people who've been evacuated, we're told, were being helped by the apartment management as well as the American Red Cross. Reporting live on the Northwest Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. 5:35 this morning, President Biden renewing his push for new voting rights measures. A Senate vote could come this week.
And President Biden making it a key part of today's trip to Atlanta, where he is set to deliver a major speech on the issue. CNN's Reed Binion reports.
The time has come to act to defend democracy and protect voting rights, even if it means changing Senate rules.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer speaking on the Senate floor Monday, one day ahead of President Joe Biden's planned speech in Atlanta, where Biden will push for voting rights legislation. Congressional Democrats and the White House say there's an urgent need to safeguard free and fair elections in the U.S.
The only way to do that are for the Senate to pass the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act.
Biden strongly in favor of those two measures, which come after a slew of new laws in many Republican-led states that Democrats say are aimed at making it harder to vote, and as partisan loyalists are installed on election boards. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says that isn't true.
If you actually read the legislation that's been passed, it's clearly not the case.
McConnell also says Democrat-backed voting rights legislation is a power grab.
I think this is an excuse to try to break the Senate.
That likely a reference to changing filibuster rules, which is what Democrats would have to do to eliminate the 60-vote threshold and pass the voting rights bills with a simple majority. Biden is prepared to back that move, but Senate Democrats would need the support of every member of their caucus to do it. And two senators are likely to remain opposed, Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona and Joe Manchin of West Virginia.
Bipartisanship takes more than a 51-vote threshold.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
You won't be surfing super high internet speeds at 50 American airports next week. The Federal Aviation Administration is restricting the new 5G spectrum as some of the country's busiest travel hubs. The ban lasts for at least 6 months due to potential signal interference with aircraft instruments. Experts regard the likelihood of such interference as low. Still, airports including Bush Intercontinental and Houston Hobby in the Houston area will enforce a 5G buffer around their property. San Antonio International, along with several others like Washington, D.C. metro area airports, will not restrict 5G. Verizon and AT&T plan to switch on their 5G networks next Wednesday.
Goldman Sachs is forecasting 4 interest rate hikes this year. The Wall Street Bank says it expects the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates in March, June, September, and December. The bank previously predicted only 3 rate hikes in 2022. The new forecast is in response to high inflation and low unemployment. Rate hikes will raise the cost of borrowing on mortgages, car loans, and credit cards. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell set to discuss inflation and interest rates during his confirmation hearing later today with lawmakers.
Kids misbehave more when they are not in school. At least that's what parents think. Harvard University surveyed about 350 parents about how their kids act when they were learning from home, in hybrid situations, and in school full time. The parents reported more instances of aggression, withdrawal, and difficulty paying attention when kids were learning remotely. This number went down when kids switched to hybrid environments and down even more when they went back to school full time. Researchers say it doesn't necessarily mean remote learning actually causes worse behavior. It may mean parents just perceive it that way.
I see it that way.
I'm not surprised by any of that perception.
I mean, I guess I'm thankful, you know, it's like, hey, you're doing great in school, but like when you're at home, it's like, come on, I'm your mom, be nice.
Right, I understand.
That's the way it goes. Time now, 5:38 and 40 degrees for now.
Still ahead, we'll tell you why 2021 saw a record amount of sales for luxury vehicles.
Also up next, why the time of day you take your COVID test could affect the results.
Interesting. Outside with Live Cam on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us here on KSAT and GMSA. We're back after this break. It's flu season, mountain cedar season. Of course, Omicron is still spreading fairly quickly.
And if you're planning to get a test, Ursula Perry talks about why the time of day you take your COVID test may play a factor in your results.
Most of us have experienced this once, twice, maybe even multiple times over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. Accurate test results allowing us to know what safety precautions to take when we're out in public. But
we may be getting a lot of false negative results.
According to research by Vanderbilt University, the time of day you take your COVID test may play a role in how accurate your test results are. The researchers found COVID test results were up to 2 times as likely to have an accurate positive test result if they tested in the middle of the day as compared to at night. That's because COVID-19 virus shedding, or when infected cells release infectious virus particles into the blood and mucus, appear to be more active in the middle of the day. It's due to the body's natural circadian rhythm. Their research found that COVID-19 viral loads tend to be lower after 8 p.m. So a COVID test after that time can lead to inaccurate results, which can have negative consequences.
A false negative out in the community could allow somebody to go out and be a little bit more free.
COVID-19 is not the only virus to be affected by your internal circadian rhythm. Other viruses like Zika, malaria, even hepatitis C can be greatly impacted by your internal body clock. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
5:43, still 40 degrees.
Coming up next, why Pepperidge Farms is making a version of goldfish just for adults.
Any morning consumer headlines, Rolls-Royce and Bentley posted record sales of their ultra-luxury cars last year. Rolls-Royce reported 2021 it sold the highest number of cars ever in 1 year. Bentley also posted record sales, selling 31% more cars and SUVs over the year before. Other luxury companies also say they expect to see sales growth last year. Lamborghini CEO said his company's sales last year were higher than its best year, although they have yet to release their annual report.
Pepperidge Farm hoping to boost the appeal of its goldfish crackers among adults. The company is launching a new product called Goldfish Megabites. As the name implies, they're bigger than the regular snack crackers. And Pepperidge Farm also hopes adults dig its spicier flavors. So we have sharp cheddar and cheddar jalapeno. The association between goldfish crackers and kids actually relatively new. When they launched in 1962, goldfish were actually marketed as a bar snack to pair with cocktails. Pepperidge Farm says adults never really stopped eating the crackers and notes almost half of its customers don't have kids in the house.
And Steph's just hosting it pairs with a nice Chardonnay.
Oh, right?
Right?
And cheese.
Adult crackers.
More cheese.
Adult fish crackers.
Yes, of course.
5:47.
Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. Would you give those a try?
Yeah, all that sounds delicious. Spicy fish to start the weekend. That sounds
Right?
great. And if you are getting your Tuesday morning started, let's take a quick look at traffic because things have been moving pretty smoothly through a lot of these shots from TransGuide. There's 35 at New Braunfels Avenue. Not really seeing a whole lot of activity out there. Now, although that these shots aren't showing a whole lot of traffic, you know, we are seeing some of these issues starting to pop up here as we're inching closer to 6 a.m. Let's take a look at the map because right now TxDOT has an incident listed here off I-35 southbound at Zazamoto Street. Not sure exactly what's causing this issue, whether it's a stalled vehicle or a crash. I was checking the cameras, not spotting anything yet, but we're going to continue to watch that, see how that could impact that morning drive time. Taking a jump up over here, another stall off I-35 southbound at US 281. This one not causing any issues, but we're still seeing this issue a little bit further up off 281 northbound at Jones-Maltzberger Road. That's been there for quite a while, but that hasn't caused any problems just yet for the early morning drivers. Wider look at the map shows that we are still in good shape, and that's some good news. Again, if you have to get your morning started early for whatever reason, there's US 90 at 36. Traffic's moving, but we're going to continue to watch these roads closely, but you know the drill. You do the same as well. Guys.
Thank you,
Goldfish
Stephen.
crackers bigger, they said? Too?
Yes.
Bigger?
Mega bites.
Still fish-shaped?
Yes,
I think
believe
so.
so. Yes.
That's what makes it fun.
I mean, if they were shaped like Triscuits, that'd be boring.
But still delicious.
Right?
But bigger so you can put a little spread on them, too, if you wanted to.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
We'll have to do a taste test at some point. Or you guys could do that on SA Live, maybe.
If we can go find a bag.
Sure.
And then you can come on the show and you can serve them. And that'll be like your hors d'oeuvres.
Wait a minute. You want us to come back downtown at what time?
What are you doing at 1 in the afternoon?
Mike does it every day.
I know he does, and I don't know how he does it.
Beautiful picture, gorgeous sunset, and yeah, we're not going to be seeing a whole lot of blue skies today. A lot of clouds going to be hanging in here. We've got plenty of them this morning, and yes, keep showing radar. There is rain being detected on radar, but with the air so dry, so what we've got, these are actual air temperatures, 35 Hondo, 39 at the airport, 43 out there in Uvalde. But then you look at the dew points, the measure of moisture in the atmosphere. So they're about, 15, 20 degrees below the actual air temperature. So very dry layer. So as the rain falls through that layer, very light rain, more than likely, most of it is evaporating before it ever reaches the ground. We will see a little bit, or there's the possibility to see a little bit of that reach the ground. This is the satellite and radar imagery. And yeah, that is some frozen precipitation way out there, far northwest of the hill country. We're not going to have to worry about any of that around here. And these clouds will continue to stick around, stay very thick. A hole in the clouds here and there. But yeah, yesterday we did have a bit more in the way of sunshine, obviously, and it's not going to be the situation today. But we'll get a whole lot more coming in here tomorrow, as well as to finish up the weekend. A fair amount of sunshine over the weekend as well. So here's what's going on with the upper level steering winds, jet stream, if you will. Right along here, where these upper level wind lines are packed a little bit tighter together, that would be kind of the main flow. And that's the dividing line. Yes, it is cold around the country, but that's kind of keeping the coldest air well up there to the north of us. Now we'll have little disturbances sliding on through the area. Yeah, but any rain today just evaporates before it reaches the ground. There's not a whole lot that's going to be changing. We keep this northwesterly flow around here. So that's one thing that'll be consistent. That's going to help hold the humidity down. So we'll have cool mornings, and even though it is going to be getting up to about 10 degrees above normal by the end of the week, still going to be very, very pleasant. And that'll be the situation in through the rest of the week. Then we get this front moving on through here, and we get a nice little shot of some cooler air coming in by the weekend, maybe a couple of extra clouds, but no return of moisture. So it is going to be coming through on the dry side, and we'll have, like I said, an extra cloud or two, and that's pretty much going to be it as far as the weekend is concerned. So unfortunately, no rain in the forecast other than a stray sprinkle or two, which is not going to amount to anything. 50 at noon today, and then high temperature up to 55 with plenty of clouds around here. Now tomorrow we start off with clouds, then see a lot more sunshine in the afternoon. We make it back up to a normal reading, starting off at 40 up to 64, just about where we would expect it to be, and then get up into the low 70s by Thursday and Friday. And notice how low temperatures are still in the low 40s, and 30-degree rise in temperatures, good indication of some dry air in place. Front comes through late Friday into Saturday, knocks us back down to about a normal weekend, and that'll continue on into Monday, long holiday weekend.
Yeah, MLK Day on Monday. It's going to be weird not to have the march again this year.
Right. There should be some other activities that they'll be announcing pretty soon, though.
But make sure you check and see if things are still on the other activities, too.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mike. 5:52, about 40 degrees.
The latest Hotel Transylvania movie comes out this week, though many of the franchise's familiar characters don't look quite as you might remember. You're going to have a preview next.
Coming up here on GMA, from the Northern Plains through Great Lakes to right here in the Northeast, we've gotten to the point that it's called dangerous cold. Wind chill advisories are up for many. You could say anywhere between 20 and even 40 below up along the Canadian border. Here and up to Boston, much of the day going to be spent in single digits or sub-zero wind chills. And so we will tell you how long that's going to stick around, and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
For centuries, no human has had the power to become a monster. Until now. But is it safe, though? Let's find out.
Johnny looks to finally fit in with his monster family in Hotel Transylvania Transfermania.
I loved it. It made me laugh so much watching it happen.
Very funny, very cool. He said he looks like he's going to Coachella or something.
I used Van Helsing's transforming ray.
But he's not the only one who gets transformed.
You're human, Drag!
Dad?
Oh no, I have a total dad bod!
And that's not all. The entire Drac Pack gets magical makeovers.
Who are those guys?
It's me, Uncle Griffin. You don't recognize me?
I literally never seen you before.
I loved it. I thought it was so cool. And it was like interesting to flip all the characters.
Some liked it and some were mad that he wasn't better looking. That's what happens to me in real life.
When you look at the image, the silhouette of the mummy, I've always kind of only thought of it as like one wrapping. Like I just thought he was going to be like a fat, corpulent guy underneath the wrappings. So to see this little small diminutive guy was really quite a fun and pleasant surprise.
If we don't fix you guys soon, you'll be like this forever.
Being a human is the worst. Mosquito!
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Back here at home, Culinaria's biannual restaurant week set to kick off Saturday. Gives you a chance to try out some of San Antonio's most popular eateries at a fixed price. If you're interested in trying it out, we have all the details online at KSAT.com. Ahead in the next hour of GMSA, a close call for a pilot in California. We're going to show more of that dramatic rescue on some train tracks caught on camera. Katrina Weber staying on top of that overnight fire at a northwest side apartment complex. Fire crews thought they had it under control last night, but it rekindled overnight. And taking a quick look at TransGuide traffic building at I-35 in St. Mary's as folks at TransGuide pan to the left and check out the other direction. We'll check in with Stephen Cavazos coming up next.
As many as 20 families are out of their homes at this Northwest Side apartment complex, but firefighters have been here ever since, putting out this fire not once but twice. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you more about it.
COVID cases among children spiking across the country. More than 580,000 testing positive. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington. The latest on the coronavirus pandemic coming up.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we have dipped down to 39 degrees. We started in the 40s, a little chilly out there.
Live from KSAT 12. Good morning, San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. Hope you slept well last night or had a good overnight shift. It is Tuesday, the 11th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Again, go ahead and start with that warm cup of coffee because it's going to be a cold one.
It is. Feels a little colder this morning than yesterday. And Mike says it might stay that way most of today.
You are right as far as, yes, it is a little bit cooler than what it was yesterday at this time. And it's going to stay cool every morning the rest of the week, even though high temperatures will warm up. And yes, we will have a lot more clouds around here. We did make it up to 60 yesterday, which is still a few degrees below normal. I don't think we're going to be seeing that today because of the cloud cover. It's going to hold in there fairly tough. Now, we do have, first of all, temperature stands at 38 degrees, dew points at 29. So we've got a pretty good difference in the temperature and the dew point temperature, about roughly 10 degrees or so. And so we've got some fairly dry air, which means this rain, which is being picked up on radar, is more than likely evaporating before it reaches the ground because it goes through that layer of dry air. Now, couple of sprinkles, yes, will definitely reach the ground, but it's not going to be a whole heck of a lot, unfortunately. Mountain cedars on the high side, and that was yesterday's reading. The updated count's going to come out in about an hour and a half or so. Mold is moderate, and throughout the rest of the morning, temperatures will stay pretty much steady where they are right now. Lots of clouds. Those have sort of moved on in, so that kind of puts a blanket on top of us and prevents us from really cooling down even further. And then we only make it up to 50 today at noon, and we'll top off at the high temperature up to 55. So about 8 degrees or so below the normal high temperature. We will start to warm up at about 10 to the high tomorrow, another 10 to that by Thursday, Friday. Then we stop adding and we'll start subtracting behind another front that's going to move on through here by Friday night into Saturday. More on the weekend forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. What is going on, sir?
Well, Mike, we are keeping our eyes on the road. So far, things have been quiet. We haven't spotted big issues just yet, but let's take a quick look around town, see how things have been shaping up so far from these TransGuide cameras. You're seeing a few folks out there from a few of these shots, not a whole lot of people, but as we take a look at the map, be on the lookout for these stalls because they're popping up as the morning does get going. This stall off Loop 410 eastbound at Austin Highway has not caused any issues, but again, it's a new one that has popped up, so we'll continue to track that in the morning. As we take a jump down over here, we have a second stall off I-35 southbound at St. Mary's Street. So as you can see, that is a trend right now, but you also are going to want to be on the lookout near I-10 because we do have some situations happening where Katrina Weber has been live at that fire. Right over here, Wurzbach Road near Gardendale Street, we know that portion of the road is blocked off as first responders have some fire hose out on the streets in front of that apartment complex. So drivers that are making their way through that area, perhaps through I-10, you may want to start looking for a different route this morning because that will definitely interfere with your morning drive. We're going to watch that closely, especially as Katrina has been out there throughout the morning. But however, the wider look at the map does show that we are still off to a pretty green start. So some good news there. Traveling in from any of these neighboring communities looks like you're in good shape as well. So no delays just yet. But again, make sure you're planning your morning carefully and we'll continue to watch these roads closely. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. As many as 20 families have spent the night away from their homes while firefighters worked outside them trying to put out a fire. The flames and smoke they extinguished last night rekindled this morning.
Katrina Weber also outside the apartment complex near Wurzbach Road and Gardendale. And Katrina, you mentioned earlier that the roof has been the source of the problem.
That's right. Firefighters told me that is where the fire has been hiding, and it was able to rekindle overnight. Now, they were originally here about 7:30 last night, put out the fire, evacuated the building, but then had to come back here about 2:30 this morning. Right now, it looks like they are starting to put away some of their gear, so that is a good sign, but that was not the case earlier. And in fact, I have some video to show you what firefighters found when they arrived. These are the Wurzbach Manor apartments. And again, they say the fire originally broke out around 7:30 last night. They had to evacuate the building. As many as 20 families sent out of their homes. Firefighters moved in and thought they had the fire knocked down. But again, those flames hiding among the roof, the parts of the roof. They did get back here about 2:30 this morning and had another fully engulfed fire when they got here. Firefighters were able to put some water on it, but they've been here for about 4 hours now trying to make sure it's extinguished. And they say that there were no injuries reported, and the people who were evacuated from this building are getting help from the apartment management and the American Red Cross. Reporting live on the northwest side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you very much, Katrina. New this morning, we've learned the name of a man killed over the weekend while he was leaving Hookah Lounge on the northwest side. He was 28-year-old Quentin Smith. Police say he was leaving the lounge around 3 a.m. Sunday when a light-colored vehicle drove by and someone inside the car started shooting at him. Smith was shot in the leg and lost a lot of blood. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. At last check, police were still searching for the shooters.
San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers are asking for help in solving a murder case that happened more than 4 years ago.
Happened back on December 2nd of 2017 at 281 near Stadium Drive. That's just north of downtown. And that's where police say 21-year-old Detronique Hawkins was driving her car when another vehicle pulled up next to her.
Someone inside then opened fire, hitting and killing Hawkins. If you recognize the suspect vehicle pictured on your screen, you are asked to call the number on your screen, and that's 210-224-STOP. Now to the pandemic here at home. The surge is not over. Here's a look at the rise in COVID-19 patients in our local hospitals. We had about 200 on Christmas Day. That number is now at 815. 186 people are in the intensive care unit and 65 are on ventilators to help them breathe.
Our risk level continues to be in the severe category. Another 4,000 cases are being reported, along with 3 more deaths, bringing us close to the grim milestone of 5,000 deaths since the pandemic began.
Starting this weekend, Americans desperate for at-home COVID tests can buy up to 8 of them a month in stores and be reimbursed by their insurance companies.
That's if they can find them. Now, the Biden administration moving forward with the new rule as the Omicron variant causes a surge in COVID cases.
We're also seeing more kids getting the virus. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
Good morning. The U.S. is getting swamped. Roughly 1 in every 70 American has tested positive just in the past week, and one doctor is calling it a surge upon a surge that our hospital systems are struggling to keep up with.
This morning, hospitals across the country buckling under the crushing weight of the Omicron surge. Medical staff currently caring for a record 141,000 Americans in hospital beds with COVID, a new pandemic record. Right now, about 1 out of every 4 U.S. hospitals reporting data says they are currently experiencing a critical staffing shortage. Concern for children also growing as a record-breaking 580,000 kids tested positive for COVID-19, a 78% increase just in the past week. In Chicago, the tense standoff between educators and the city is now over. Overnight, the union voting for teachers to return to classrooms today. Meanwhile, an eye-opening pre-Omicron study on masks showing it can take about half an hour for 2 people wearing cloth masks to pass the virus to each other, compared to about 25 hours when both are wearing N95 masks.
The higher grade masks are really going to protect people because they not only have a more proper fit, they have a better seal.
And the CDC, according to the Washington Post, is now weighing an update to its mask guidance, pushing for those higher quality N95 and KN95 masks over cloth masks amid this Omicron surge. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
In your other morning's headlines, flight cancellations slowing down as airlines dig themselves out of delays caused by bad weather and staffing shortages. Problems started just before Christmas, led to 2 straight weeks where 1,000 flights or more were canceled every day.
And just in the nick of time, rescuers in San Diego save a driver whose car was discovered dangling off a canal along an interstate. According to the crews on the scene, witnesses wanted to help, but were afraid the car would go over the wall. Rescuers tied the car to a fire truck, smashed a window, and pulled the unconscious driver to safety.
Staying in California, scary moments for a pilot in L.A. who escaped death more than once. Have you seen this yet? It's gone viral. Small plane lost power, crash landed right on some train tracks. He survived, and then officers were able to pull the pilot from the aircraft just moments before a speeding commuter train ripped through the wreckage, sending parts flying everywhere. Remarkably, no one was hurt.
Very scary. Time now, 6:10 and 40 degrees for now.
Google has reached an impressive milestone. That's ahead in your morning consumer headlines.
Also next, it's being called a medical breakthrough. We're going to tell you about a man with a terminal heart disease who received a pig's heart.
And outside with live cam bundle up, we dropped briefly below 40 degrees on that thermometer, but it's back up to 40 right now. As you wake up on a Tuesday morning here in South Central Texas, we'll be right back. Just about 6:14. Welcome back. Now to a medical first being described as a breakthrough.
A man with terminal heart disease has received a heart from a genetically altered pig, potentially paving the way for a new era in surgery.
ABC's Rhiannon Alley has the story.
This morning, a man in Maryland is living his 4th day with a pig heart beating in his chest after a groundbreaking surgery. Surgeons at the University of Maryland transplanted the pig heart into 57-year-old David Bennett in a last-ditch effort to save his life.
He's awake, he is recovering and speaking to his caregivers, and we hope that the recovery that he is having now will continue.
During the 9-hour operation, doctors replaced Bennett's heart with one from a 240-pound pig, which was genetically modified for this purpose. According to his family, Bennett is aware there's no guarantee the experiment will work, but he agreed to the procedure because he's ineligible for a human heart transplant.
For him, it provided a level of hope. My dad's only 57 years old, so that was very important to him, and he didn't feel like he was ready to die.
It's not the first time this type of procedure has taken place. The new procedures mark a major step in the decades-long quest to use animals as organ donors.
It is a game changer because we'll have these organs available and, can customize basically the heart for or the organ for the patient.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Now to consumer news, and genetic testing company 23andMe has received FDA clearance for a prostate cancer risk test. Test screens for a specific mutation believed to make men 3 times more likely to develop prostate cancer. 23andMe already has 2 other risk tests designed to predict the risk of breast cancer and colorectal cancer.
We are getting new details about Samsung's next big reveal. The company is holding an event on February 8th. They're expected to unveil new Galaxy phone, now 3 models of the S22. Experts anticipate they will have very bright displays. The devices are expected to ship in late February.
And a massive milestone for Gmail. The Android app has passed 10 billion downloads on the Google Play Store. It's the 4th app to reach 10 billion, joining Play Service, YouTube, and Maps.
And let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. I saw some problems there on Loop 410 and Austin Highway.
Thankfully, it's not a very big problem, although looks can be deceiving, Steph. Right now, 410 at Austin Highway does look like it is a pretty big problem based off of what we're seeing from these TransGuide shots. But however, just looking at the TxDOT website, this is actually listed as a stall that's off in the shoulder lane. You can see traffic still moving through there pretty easily. Just make sure that if you drive through and you see situations like that, move over or slow down. That's the law, and we want to give first responders plenty of room to help those drivers out that may be experiencing trouble in the early hours, especially with it being still dark outside. So again, 410 at Austin Highway is a shot from TransGuide, but taking a look right here, that stall detected in those eastbound lanes. So again, be on the lookout for that. These stalls have been the trending issue throughout the morning. Taking a jump down over here, a stall off I-35 southbound at St. Mary's Street has been there for quite a while. This has not caused issues just yet, but again, we're starting to see these stalls popping up as the morning does get going. Quick reminder, Katrina Weber has been live at that fire out over here near I-10. Now, she did tell me that some of the hoses that the firefighters are using to put this fire out have led to the road being blocked there near Wurzbach Road and Gardendale Street. Now, the road has not been closed just yet, but obviously when you see those fire hoses out there, it could create some delays for your early morning drive. So start looking for those different routes if you travel through that area. But thankfully, the wider look at the map at this hour does show that we're still off to a green start, but we know that can quickly change as the morning does get going, guys.
Time for a bus stop forecast, something like that, right, Mike?
Yep.
Bus
You may want to warm up the bus in the car just a little bit. I mean, it's not brutally cold out there, but down in the 30s and 40s in most places. 37 this morning, mostly cloudy skies, and we keep a lot of clouds around today. Of course, yesterday we had a lot of those high clouds, did see some sunshine at times, but it looks like it's pretty much just going to be sort of socked in today, and temperatures will be anywhere from about 8-10 degrees below normal. Beautiful picture yesterday. I like how Mr. McClellan says clouds moved in just in time, I guess, to make this great little background there, and beautiful contrast against the water there at Woodlawn Lake. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. I haven't seen one from you in a while. Thank you for that. And as far as looking outside right now, like I said, plenty of clouds out there. All right, Mountain Cedar, yesterday's count was 4820. We are still not quite, we're getting toward the peak of the season here, which is pretty much the last couple of weeks of January, and it will continue to taper off in through February, but still got a lot more in store. And of course, the updated count is going to be coming out in about say an hour or so. So there is rain. Been talking about this all morning long. There is rain being picked up on radar right now, and there may be some sprinkles, but this looks a lot more impressive than what it is down here at the ground because of the dry air that is in place. So we have temperatures that are in the 30s and 40s, 43 Uvalde, 52 in Del Rio. But then you look at the dew point temperature is 22. So there's a 30-degree difference between the air temperature and the dew point temperature. So a really, really dry layer of air is in place. And so that's why a lot of this rain, what we call virga, is going to be evaporating before it ever reaches the ground. That doesn't mean all of it's going to evaporate, but the majority of it will. Also, as far as the humidity, dew points are going to be staying on the low side all the way through the rest of the week and going into the weekend. Unlike the past few times where we've had kind of cold weather and then it starts to warm up, the dew points have really shot up with those temperatures. But these are going to stay on the low side. So that will allow low temperatures to be down around normal readings, and then high temperatures will be getting up into the 70s. But then we have another front moving through by the weekend. This whole pattern, even though there's some little glitches coming on through here, and that's what's giving us some of those showers, or although evaporating, we keep northwesterly flow aloft in the atmosphere, which is helping to keep the humidity on the lower side, keeping all that really, really cold stuff up there to the north. Here's the next front that moves on through by late Friday into Saturday. But again, unfortunately, there's not going to be a return of moisture around here, so it will move through dry. 50 at noon today. Cloudy. Again, a couple of sprinkles, light little shower here and there, possible, not very likely. Most is going to evaporate, and then 55 for a high temperature later on today. Tomorrow and the rest of the week, low temperatures will be right around where they should be. High tomorrow, normal high, mid-60s, and then we get up into the 70s Thursday and Friday. Front comes through here, and it's going to clear us out. It's going to be windy on Saturday, right around 63 degrees, so very pleasant weather. Lack of rain notwithstanding, nice forecast. We could use a bunch of rain, but nothing in the forecast.
Overall, pretty nice stretch.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mike. 621, about 40 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, we're going to introduce you to the new man in charge of the Johnson Jaguars athletics. Plus, the Spurs continue to slump. We're going to have the highlights from their game last night at Madison Square Garden.
What can I do with less asthma? With Dupixent, I can do more yard work, teamwork, long walks.
Game on!
That's how you do more with Dupixent, which helps prevent asthma attacks. Dupixent's not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that can improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. It can reduce or even eliminate oral steroids. And here's something important. Dupixent can cause serious allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis. Get help right away if you have rash, shortness of breath, chest pain, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection, and don't change or stop your asthma treatments, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Are you ready to do more with less asthma?
Hey, come on!
Just ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
Welcome back. Time for a look at sports this morning. Spurs down several players last night. They were hoping to snap a 3-game losing streak against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. DeJounte Murray would lead the way for the Spurs with 24 points. Jakob Poeltl added 12 points, 10 rebounds, but in the end, the Silver and Black just didn't have enough gas left in the tank. Final from Madison Square Garden, Knicks win 111-96. Spurs finish off a disappointing road trip at 1-6. Look back to get back in the win column at home against the struggling Houston Rockets. Tip off of that game set for 7:30 tomorrow night at the AT&T Center. College football playoff national championship game in the books. Number 3 ranked Georgia took down number 1 ranked Alabama last night. Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. The final there, Georgia wins 33-18. It's the Bulldogs' first national title in 41 years. Back here at home, congratulations to T.P. Miller, who's been named new head coach of the Johnson High School Jaguars. The former Jags defensive coordinator promoted to head coach and athletic coordinator after Mark Soto left the Jags after 2 seasons to take over as head coach at his alma mater, Judson High School. Coach Miller calls it a prestigious honor. In a letter addressed to Jaguar Nation, he said he was thankful for the opportunity to continue working with first-class student athletes, parents, teachers, and administrators.
Congratulations, Coach Miller. Time now, 6:25 and 40 degrees out there. When it comes to your job, there's work you can see and there's work you can't see. Ahead in our next half hour of GMSA, we're going to tell you why more women seem to be taking on that invisible work.
And it's been our top story this morning. An overnight apartment fire on San Antonio's northwest side impacts dozens of families. Katrina Weber will join us with the very latest in a live report.
San Antonio firefighters are wrapping up what has been a long night. They were called not once but twice to this apartment complex. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you more about it.
Upper 30s, lower 40s here in the San Antonio metropolitan area as we kick off your Tuesday morning. Good morning to you. It is January 11th.
Happy Tuesday and happy first day of school for the SAISD students. My daughter's finally going back today. It's been a long break.
That was a long holiday, especially for mom and dad.
Right. No, I mean, it's okay, but it's so funny. All her friends have been going to school and, they're like, how's school? She's like, it's great. It's great. I'm like, you're not going to school yet.
Yes.
So let's see what she says today.
Yes. Well, welcome back to everybody.
Yes, indeed. And grab a jacket before you head out the door this morning because it's cool. And it's going to be every morning this week. It'll be cool enough for that, even though afternoon temperatures later on in the week are going to be getting up there. Today's going to stay on the cool side, though. So yesterday we hit 60. Today, only mid-50s. Lots of clouds. We're not really seeing any glow of the sunrise out there right now. And temperature is in the upper 30s. So, yeah, it's pretty darn chilly out there, a little bit below normal. The dew point measure moisture in the atmosphere is roughly 10 degrees below that And that's very important right now as far as any sort of precipitation. A little bit of breeze, so maybe kind of a little bit of a bite to some of these temperatures. So we do have a fair amount of rain, aerial coverage wise, showing up on radar right now. But with the air so dry, a lot of that's evaporating before it ever reaches the ground. There may be a couple of little sprinkly showers here and there that do make it all the way down to the ground, but wouldn't really count on any rain. If you see a sprinkle, just don't be surprised by it. Mountain Cedar, yesterday's count, 48.20. Updated reading is going to come out in about an hour or so, 45 minutes. Mold is on the moderate side. And this morning, cloudy. Again, a sprinkle or two is possible, and that'll be the case pretty much all day long. And on the cool side, tomorrow, we will start off with clouds and a lot more sunshine in the afternoon. Add to the high temperature today, so we'll make it back up into the low to mid 60s tomorrow. Add to that by the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, we'll make it up into the low 70s and plenty of sunshine. But that's where, as I was saying earlier, the addition stops and it goes back to subtraction. We'll get back down to normal readings after a front moves through here late Friday into Saturday. Is it going to squeeze out any rain other than a sprinkle or two today? Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos, what's the latest?
6:32, not seeing a whole lot of problems out on the roadways, Mike. So that's some good news, especially as we start this new Tuesday morning. 1604 Petranco, very empty there, but 410 at Jackson Keller. You can see that we do have a few more folks that are out there moving this morning, especially here at 410 at Starcrest. But thankfully, those issues that we've been seeing have just been stalls, and those have thankfully cleared out rather quickly. However, be on the lookout because we still have this stall off I-35 southbound at St. Mary Street. But right now, that is the only issue on the highways. However, we did have a road that was closed up here right outside the Wurzbach Manor Apartments where Katrina Weber has been live throughout the morning covering that fire. Now, a portion of the road had been blocked as firefighters had some water hoses on the Wurzbach Road areas. So this was obviously impacting drivers that may be heading out to work. But thankfully, Katrina let us know that the road is open now. But still, be on the lookout as you get your morning started, because the wider look at the map does show we are still off to a green start, and as the morning does get moving, we are hoping that it stays that way. If your travel's taking through San Antonio, thankfully good news is it's green across the board, so no delays just yet, but we're going to continue to watch these roads closely and have more updates coming up in the next few minutes. Mark, Stephanie.
See you in a bit. Thank you, Stephen. Fire investigators will try to determine what caused a fire at a Northwest Side apartment complex. This displaced as many as 20 families.
Firefighters have had their hands full trying to make sure the flames and smoke are out. That fire rekindled overnight.
Katrina Weber is live just outside that complex near Wurzbach and Gardendale. Katrina, good morning. Will those families be able to return home at all?
Good morning. Based on what firefighters tell me, it does not appear that they will be able to return home, even though the fire is out now. Firefighters they say that when they left the first time last night, those people were not even allowed back in then. So no one was actually here in this building when the fire rekindled. The firefighters found that they had a whole new fire on their hands. When they were called back here around 2:30 this morning, they found flames coming from the roof of one building at the Wurzbach Manor Apartments. This is the same building where they thought they had put out that fire around 7:30 last night. The firefighters say because of the way the roof is constructed, it allowed some of the flames to smolder, and that's what caused it to flare up again. As for the cause of the original fire, that is still under investigation. But we're told that the people who were evacuated from this building are getting help from the apartment management as well as the American Red Cross. Again, no word on the cause of this fire. Reporting live on the Northwest Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. New this morning, San Antonio firefighters say a woman is dead following a fire at a home on the Northwest Side. It happened just before 10 last night in the 1400 block of West Ridge Court, just west of I-10. Crews arrived to find flames in the home, and when they walked in the home, they found that elderly woman dead in a hallway. So far, the cause of that fire is not known.
Also new this morning, a man's in the hospital fighting for his life after an overnight shooting at an East Side apartment complex. Happened on Enoch Walk, just south of East Commerce. Police say the man in his 30s confronted two people trying to steal his catalytic converter from his vehicle. That's when one of the suspects shot the victim in the chest and shoulder. He's now in critical condition. Police are still looking for suspects.
It's been just about a month since a 15-year-old boy was shot and killed at a convenience store on the Northwest Side. Police are still searching for the person accused of shooting the teen.
Sarah Costa is following this story closely, joins us now here live in the studio. Sarah, what information do police have right now?
Good morning, Mark and Steph. Well, here's the good news. Police say they do have surveillance pictures and video of the person they believe to be the shooter, and they know what kind of vehicle he may be driving, but they're hoping someone from the public can help them track this person down. This shooting happened on December 14th at a convenience store on Cincinnati Avenue near North Calaveras. That's just west of I-10. According to police, 15-year-old Jeremiah Gunther was with a group of friends when another boy pulled up in a dark-colored gray Ford Focus. The suspect got into an argument with Gunther and pulled out a gun. Gunther and his friends got into their vehicles and tried to leave, but the suspect started shooting at those cars. Police tell us Gunther was a passenger in one of the vehicles and was shot in the head. He was taken to the hospital, but was declared brain dead and passed away the next day. So if you know anything about this shooter or the person seen in that surveillance video that police are looking for, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 210-224-STOP. You can, of course, find that number on KSAT.com. You may be able to earn up to $5,000 cash if your information leads to an arrest. Mark and Steph.
Thank you, Sarah. This morning, more than 141,000 Americans are in the hospital due to COVID. The latest numbers show that deaths are up by 34% in the last week, and COVID cases among children are up 78% in the last week. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is moving forward on a rule to make all at-home rapid tests reimbursable for insured Americans.
CDC might start recommending people wear N95 or KN95 masks as opposed to other types. The Washington Post cites an unnamed official who says the agency is considering the change. It says Omicron spreads so easily, the CDC is looking at masks with better filtration.
If you're looking for a free COVID-19 test, here's an easy way to find one. Use the camera on your phone and scan the code on your screen. That will guide you to several sites. More sites are expected to open this week, including one later today at the Yates Community Center. We also have the list online on our website, KSAT.com.
The CPS Energy Board of Trustees has unanimously voted to approve a 3.85% rate increase. On Thursday, CPS will go to City Council with that rate request. Council will then vote on the increase that same day. If it goes through, the utility could ask for another increase later on down the road.
Still a lot of questions unanswered after two toddlers were found tied up and left alone at a home on the southeast side. Officers found them Sunday afternoon after someone called 911. Child Protective Services took the children to the hospital to make sure they were okay. A lot of neighbors tell us they were outraged and concerned for those children.
It's so disappointing. I mean, I don't. It's just so hateful to know that parents would actually do that, especially to a toddler, a 2 or 3-year-old.
A third child was found somewhere else with a relative. So far, police have not said if any arrests have been made.
An 18-year-old New Mexico woman facing charges after police say she abandoned her newborn baby in a dumpster, throwing it away like it was trash. It happened in Hobbs, New Mexico, near the Texas border. Authorities say a group of people were looking through the dumpster when they heard the baby cry. They found it inside a trash bag wrapped in a dirty, wet towel. The newborn was taken to a hospital in Lubbock and is expected to be okay. There's video of the suspect apparently dropping the baby off into that dumpster. Investigators used this surveillance video that led them to a suspect, and they've named her Alexis Avila. She told authorities she did not know she was even pregnant and panicked when she gave birth.
New details this morning following the death of Betty White. We have learned the beloved actress suffered a stroke. She died 6 days later in her home on New Year's Eve at the age of 99. A national movie event that was scheduled before White died will happen as planned on January 17th. That would have been her 100th birthday. This film will be shown in nearly 1,000 theaters nationwide.
Many in the entertainment world still mourning the loss of comedian Bob Saget, but it may take months to learn just how he passed away. An autopsy was completed yesterday, according to the Orange County Medical Examiner in Florida. As of now, there is no evidence of drug use or foul play. They say it could take 12 weeks to conduct a thorough investigation. Saget found dead in his Orlando hotel room on Sunday. He was 65 years old. This morning, President Biden renewing his push for new voting rights measures. The Senate vote could come this week.
And President Biden is making it a key part of today's trip to Atlanta, where he's set to deliver a major speech on the issue. CNN's Reed Binion reports.
The time has come to act to defend democracy and protect voting rights, even if it means changing Senate rules.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer speaking on the Senate floor Monday, one day ahead of President Joe Biden's planned speech in Atlanta, where Biden will push for voting rights legislation. Congressional Democrats and the White House say there's an urgent need to safeguard free and fair elections in the U.S.
The only way to do that are for the Senate to pass the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act.
Biden strongly in favor of those two measures, which come after a slew of new laws in many Republican-led states that Democrats say are aimed at making it harder to vote, and as partisan loyalists are installed on election boards. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says that isn't true.
If you actually read the legislation that's been passed, it's clearly not the case.
McConnell also says Democrat-backed voting rights legislation is a power grab.
I think this is an excuse to try to break the Senate.
That likely a reference to changing filibuster rules, which is what Democrats would have to do to eliminate the 60-vote threshold and pass the voting rights bills with a simple majority. Biden is prepared to back that move, but Senate Democrats would need the support of every member of their caucus to do it. And two senators are likely to remain opposed, Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona and Joe Manchin of West Virginia.
Bipartisanship takes more than a 51-vote threshold.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
642, about 40 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, we're going to tell you about invisible work and why more women seem to be taking it on. And welcome back at 6:45. When it comes to your job, there's work you can see, and then there's invisible work. That's another name for work you do that you don't get recognized or paid for.
And experts say it appears women are doing the brunt of it. New research shows women around the world perform 3 out of every 4 hours of unpaid labor. A recent report on women in the workplace also found female managers are more likely than males to help employees with work-life challenges and provide emotional support.
But this invisible work can take its toll compared to men. Researchers say women leaders are more stressed and exhausted at work, and almost 40% have considered downshifting their careers or leaving the workforce altogether.
Experts say it's important to speak up about any extra work you're taking on and create a plan before you burn out.
And let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. I was looking at some of the TransGuide cameras there. Looks like things are moving.
Yeah, things are moving through these shots at TransGuide. We're not seeing delays just yet, but the issues are out there. As we take a look right now, there's 35 southbound in Maine. We are seeing people getting their morning started. A lot more folks than what we saw just a little bit earlier. Right now, we are at morning rush, so do expect this shot at TransGuide to look a little busier as the morning does go on. Let's go ahead and bring your attention right to the map because we do have our first crash of the morning here off State Highway 151 eastbound at Loop 410. You can see based on our map, we're not seeing the delays just yet, but what we saw on TransGuide were a lot of vehicles, so we could see a delay maybe in the next few minutes if that crash scene is still there. We'll watch it closely. We're also watching this stall that's been reported off 281 northbound at Wurzbach Parkway. Thankfully, it's not caused issues, but stalls have been the trending problem of the morning. We have a stall that just cleared out here off I-35 southbound at St. Mary Street, so that's some good news, but as we push out and show you the wider look at the map, we are still thankfully in some pretty good shape as morning rush does get going here. But right now, shots of TransGuide show the sun looks like it's peeking out there, Mike Osterhage.
Trying to.
Yeah,
trying to. We're not going to see a lot of it. Don't read the caption yet. What do you see in this picture?
Cumulus clouds?
No.
Or is that?
Okay. Use your imagination here.
Okay.
And Jamie, our director, I'm going to put that out to her as well. Anything?
I see like a saucer, like a little spinny.
Caption says Spider-Man web slinging from one cloud to another. I guess he'd be kind of like swinging right there. That'd be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Sort of like.
I see that now.
Yeah, and there
Very
would be
nice.
the web. So.
I wish it was that creative. I can't. I don't see it, guys. I'm sorry.
We do have some sunshine, which is peeking on through, but then plenty of clouds hanging around here. And more clouds, that's pretty much going to be the call throughout the day. We do have rain that's being picked up on radar, but once again, been talking about how a lot of this is evaporating before it reaches the ground because we have these temperatures which are in the 30s and 40s, but then you measure or find out the dew point temperature, measure moisture in the atmosphere, and it's about 10, 15, even close to 20 degrees degrees lower than what the air temperature is. So a very dry layer in here, and that means most of that rain is evaporating before it reaches the ground. Some will probably reach the ground, but again, the majority of it is going to be evaporating. We've got a little bit of a breeze out there right now, so a hint of a wind chill to deal with. Definitely bundle up this morning. And around the country, it's pretty cold just about everywhere you go, except for Miami at 65 degrees, 14 below the actual air temperature up there in Caribou. The upper level steering winds, here's the jet stream, the main flow in the atmosphere. And that's staying well up there to the north of us. Now, we have little disturbances moving on through here, but with the air so dry, nothing's really other than those few sprinkles today. We're not going to be seeing any rain, unfortunately, even on through the weekend. We keep this northwesterly flow, which means we'll still keep some dry air around here. We're not going to see any big surge in the humidity, so it'll be pleasant in the morning, on the cool side in the morning, and then we warm up quite a bit by the afternoon, and that's going to be the case starting tomorrow, but then especially Thursday and Friday. Then late Friday, this front right here, that little dip right there is going to be moving on through here. That's going to cool us down for the weekend, just back down to normal readings. But again, it comes through dry, so no rain, unfortunately. 50 at noon today, cloudy. Couple of those little sprinkly showers. Most everything, again, is going to be evaporating before it reaches the ground. Some folks will see a shower too. 55 for high temperature today, so we're going to stay about 8 degrees below normal with all the clouds out there. And then tomorrow, we start off again on the cool side. Same thing every day this week. And we get up to 64 in the afternoon, 70s by Thursday, Friday. Front comes through here, and that's going to knock us back to pretty much normal readings and cool mornings over the weekend and into the holiday on Monday.
Warmer, drier, still the overall trend going into the middle of the month here?
Yeah, I mean, still the La Nina effect, so warm, dry winter, unfortunately. So
Okay. Not too bad. Hey, real quick, wanted to wish a happy birthday to viewer Michael Jimenez, 57 today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Till right now, about 40 degrees. You're watching GMSA.
And we all know that fruit goes bad, but did you know that even the rotten ones are good for something? Find out what you can do with them tomorrow on GMSA.
Let's go outside with live cam. How things are looking out there. Wow.
Wow.
Very nice. I mean, words defy explanation, description.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We'll be right back.
Coming up here on GMA, from the Northern Plains through Great Lakes to right here in the Northeast, we've gotten to the point that it's called dangerous cold. Wind chill advisories are up for many. You could say anywhere between 20 and even 40 below up along the Canadian border. Here and up to Boston, much of the day going to be spent in single digits or sub-zero wind chills. And so we will tell you how long that's going to stick around and so much more coming up right here on GMA.
San Antonio firefighters are keeping a close watch on this apartment complex, trying to prevent round 3 with a fire here. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. They've already been called here twice within the past 11 hours or so. The firefighters found flames coming from the roof of the building when they arrived for the second time around 2:30 this morning. They say a fire that started at this complex near Wurzbach Road in Gardendale around 7:30 last night had rekindled. During the earlier call, they evacuated as many as 20 families from the building here at the Wurzbach Manor Apartments. They say those people were assisted by management as well as the American Red Cross. Fire investigators are still trying to determine how this fire started originally. Reporting from the Northwest Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's get a look at the roadways right now for your morning drive as we get Tuesday going. We're taking a look at I-10 and Medical. We're seeing some road flares out there. Our friends at TransGuide panning over. We have a possible vehicle fire out in that area. We're watching it very closely. We know that there's a fire engine that was out there for a little while now, but doesn't look like they're there anymore. But be on the lookout. We still have this crash off State Highway 151 eastbound at Loop 410, Mike.
Thanks, sir. Lots of clouds. A little bit of sun is trying to squeeze on through off to the east, but we're going to keep a lot of clouds around throughout the day. We do have rain that's being picked up on radar, but the majority of this is evaporating before it reaches the ground because we've got some really dry air in place. We're now up to 41 degrees, 30s in the hill country. Not much of a wind chill. There was a hint of a wind chill out there this morning, but just cool enough out there, and we're going to make it up to 55 later on today.
All right.
Make it a great day.
We'll be back at 9.